Welcome to this explosive edition of entertainment drama, where the worlds of British television collide in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. Picture the glittering studios of ITV, where Loose Women, that iconic daytime powerhouse, gathers its panel of fearless females to dissect everything from fashion faux pas to political upheavals with unfiltered candor and a dash of cheeky banter. Hosted by the likes of Christine Lampard on this fateful day, the show buzzes with energy as the audience settles in for what promises to be another lively debate. But today, November 7, 2025, isn't just any ordinary taping. It's the day that Piers Morgan, the undisputed king of controversy with his razor-sharp wit and unyielding opinions, makes a guest appearance that no one saw coming. Piers, fresh from his reign on Good Morning Britain and his fiery foray into talk TV, strides onto the set with that trademark swagger, his tailored suit impeccable, his eyes gleaming with the anticipation of a good scrap. The panel Denise Welch, the outspoken matriarch of mental health advocacy and veteran actress from hits like Coronation Street and Waterloo Road alongside Nadia Sawalha, Kay Adams, and Sunitra Sarkar, greets him with a mix of polite smiles and wary glances, knowing full well that inviting Piers is like tossing a lit match into a room full of dry tinder. The topic, the ongoing media frenzy around celebrity mental health disclosures, sparked by recent revelations from high-profile figures like Prince Harry in his memoir Spare, and ongoing discussions about the pressures of public life. As the cameras roll and the theme music fades, Christine kicks things off with a neutral opener. Piers, you've been vocal about the royal family and mental health. Do you think we're finally breaking the stigma, or is it all just performative? Piers leans forward, microphone in hand, launching into his opening salvo with the precision of a seasoned debater. Christine, absolutely, it's high time we stop tiptoeing around these issues, but let's be honest, too many celebrities, especially those with a grudge against the monarchy, are weaponizing mental health for clicks and sympathy points. It's not advocacy, it's opportunism. The audience murmurs, a ripple of agreement from some, tension from others. Denise, seated to his right, her blonde hair perfectly coiffed and her expression a blend of steel and empathy, shifts slightly in her chair, her fingers tapping the table edge, a telltale sign that the fuse is lit. The floodgates creak open as Denise's response cuts through the air like a Geordie gale, her accent thickening with emotion, eyes blazing under the studio spots. Spite, Piers, that's rich coming from the man who branded me a vile hypocrite on national telly last year, all because I defended a woman's right to speak her truth without your royalist rage. Mental health isn't your punching bag for ratings, it's my lifeline, and yours too, if you'd admit the pressure of being Piers Bloody Morgan cracked you once or twice. The audience erupts, a wave of cheers rolling from the back rows, hands clapping in solidarity with the woman who's become their champion against the patriarchy's loudest mouthpiece. Piers' face, usually a mask of imperturbable confidence, flushes slightly at the temples, his jaw clenching as he counters, finger pointing for emphasis. Lifeline, Denise, you've monetized misery books, speeches, Loose Women segments, all while slinging effing joking at my vaccine U-turn. I evolved with science, you dug in like a denier, ignoring the dead to push your no scaremongering line. That's not lifeline, that's liability. The panel recoils, Sunitra gasping, Piers, that's low even for you, while Kay tries to mediate. Let's keep it civil, folks, this is about progress, not past grudges. But civil is a distant memory now, the exchange accelerating into a verbal volley that echoes their Twitter wars, where Piers once rallied his 8 million followers against her abusive bully label from his son Spencer, and she retorted with screenshots of his screws loose ableism toward Meghan. The studio audience, a microcosm of Middle England, divides visibly, as some leaning forward in delight at the drama, others shifting uncomfortably, whispering about whether production will cut to break. Christine, her smile strained, interjects with a commercial tease, but the cameras linger, capturing every micro-expression, Denise's trembling lip, the steel in her gaze, Piers' animated gestures, his voice rising an octave. Backstage, producers huddle, walkie-talkies crackling, a let it run, ratings through the roof as this segment spills over, the debate morphing from mental health to mutual destruction. At home, social media ignites, tweets fly, Denise dragging Piers a queen. Versus Morgan owning the witch again. This is the alchemy of loose women, turning personal pain into public spectacle, where the line between healing and harming blurs in the heat of the moment. With the gloves well and truly off, the studio descends into a cacophony of overlapping voices, the panel struggling to rein in the rampage as Piers and Denise lock horns in a battle royale of barbs and backstreet. Accountability? You want accountability, Piers? How about owning your GMB exit, and not for disbelieving Meghan, but for bullying her into silence on racism and mental health, the very things you now decry as opportunism? Denise's words land like punches, her body leaning forward, the table between them feeling woefully inadequate. The audience roars, a standing ovation from the front rows, as Nadia piles on. Here appears. You stormed off like a toddler. Denise stayed and fought. Piers, undaunted, slams his palm on the table, the sound echoing like a gavel. Bullying? I spoke truth to power. Harry and Meghan's tales were fairy stories for sympathy bucks, and you lapped it up, tweeting my karma like some vindictive harpy. Your fight is selective outrage, Denise. Kind to your tribe, cruel to mine. The word harpy hangs heavy, a misogynistic barb that ignites the panel. Sunitra snaps. That's out of line, Piers apologized. But he waves it off, his eyes fixed on Denise, daring her to swing back. She does, voice steady but laced with fury. Harpy? That's the language of a man who can't handle a woman with a voice louder than his ego. I've been called worse. Love ya from mad in the 90s to hypocrite by you in 2023. But I rise, because unlike some, I don't quit when it gets hot. The reference to his Schofield rant stings, and Piers' retort is swift. Quit? I was pushed out by Ofcom snowflake. You'd know about snowflakes, with your COVID tears over suicide stats while hospitals overflowed. The mention of suicide is a low blow. Given Denise's advocacy draws gasps, the audience booing for the first time, a wave of disapproval washing over Piers. Christine, sweating under her makeup, signals for break, but the mix stay hot, the exchange spilling into unscripted territory. Production cuts to ad, but not before the cameras catch Denise's tear-streaked face, a mix of rage and hurt, and Piers' defiant stare, unrepentant. In the green room during break, tension boils. Nadia hugs Denise, whispering encouragement, while Kay corners Piers. Tone it down, or you're done. He shrugs. This is fair, awe is real. But as they return, the atmosphere is toxic, the debate devolving into personal anecdotes turned weapons. Piers recounting his sympathy for Phil Schofield's Viper's Nest exit, implying Denise's role in ITV's Mean Girls. Denise countering with tales of her own breakdowns, ignored by blokes like you who profit from pain. The audience, now fully invested, chants Denise. Denise, drowning Piers momentarily, forcing a laugh from him that's more snarl. This is the turning point, where entertainment tips into excess, the show's ethos of empowerment clashing with the guest's ego. Social feeds explode, clips going viral, commentators weighing in from breakfast shows to TikTok. Loose women has always thrived on edge, but this is the abyss gazing back, a mirror to the brutal underbelly of fame where old allies become adversaries, and truth is the first casualty. The break does little to cool the coals. If anything, it fans them, as whispers and side-eyes circulate during the makeup touch-ups and water refills. Returning to the set, the lights seem brighter, the air thicker, as Christine attempts a reset. Right, let's pivot to how media can better support mental health. Appears. Your thoughts? But Piers, sensing blood in the water, ignores the lifeline, turning to Denise with a predatory gleam. Support? ITV supports vipers like you. Denise preaching be kind while your feed is a sewer of abuse. Remember 2022, gloating over my Talk TV ratings? Poor Piers, no one watching it. It's kindness. Denise, powder freshened but fire undimmed, meets his gaze head on, her voice a whip crack. Vipers, pot, kettle, you who called me spiteful amid Phil's downfall, using his pain to settle scores with me. My abuse is passion, yours is power. Playa blocking critics, sixing fans on deniers like me during lockdown, when I was just saying focus on facts, not fear. The audience, now a partisan crowd, cheers her on, the energy electric, chairs creaking as they lean in. Kay tries to bridge, Both valid points. A passion can look like anger, but it's futile. The duo is locked in, a verbal tango of thrust and parry. Piers escalates, voice rising. Facts? Your facts cost live acid, downplaying jabs when I was out there urging them, only to U-turn myself and get your effing jokingly, hypocrite much. The curse echoes, drawing winces from the panel, and Denise's response is thunder. Glee? That was justice for the terror you sowed, calling us murderers for questioning mandates that didn't stop spread. As you later admitted, you're the flip-flopper, Piers, the man who quits GMB in a huff, then cries censored from your Fox News light. The studio erupts, laughter mingling with outrage, as Piers stands, gesturing wildly. Fox News? Talk TV's truth-telling. You're jealous because your show's cozy chats don't draw my millions. Sunitra, fed up, sit down. Piers, this is loose women, not your rant podium. But he doesn't, pacing now, the exchange a full-blown row, mix picking up every syllable. The audience, loving the chaos, phones out recording despite signs, clips destined for eternity online. Christine signals producers frantically, her smile a rictus, as the segment overruns by minutes, the debate forgotten in favor of demolition derby. Exchange reaches fever pitch, the studio a whirlwind of raised voices and flushed faces, the once cozy set now a coliseum for gladiatorial gab. Piers, red-faced and animated, jabs a finger toward Denise. Exploitation? You're the queen of Ida, 30 years as ambassador, yet your first move in a row is I've suffered more. It's not inspiration, it's intimidation. The accusation lands hard, the audience splitting, half booing Piers, half silent in shock, as Denise rises to her feet, chair scraping like nails on chalkboard, her 5'5" frame seeming 10 feet tall and righteous fury. Intimidation? Try survival, you pompous brat. I've been gaslit by experts like you my whole life, told my pain was drama until I proved it on stage and screen. You, with your silver spoon and safe exits, wouldn't last a week in my shoes. The word brat draws laughs, breaking the tension momentarily, but her follow-up, and don't get me started on your son's screws loose slur. That's the hate I fight, not the kindness you fake. You strikes deep, referencing Spencer's 2023 tweet that had Denise raging about ableism. Piers, stung, fires back, voice booming over the din. My son called out a bully, you, harassing Meghan defenders like some cancel culture crusader. Your fight is fame-fueled. My opinions are honest, even if they cost me GMB. The mention of his dramatic walk-off is storming off after Alex Beresford's on-air takedown elicits cheers, the audience relishing the reminder of his vulnerability. Nadia, standing now to Piers, in awe with this is toxic, sit or leave, but the host ignores, turning on Denise. Honest? You lied about my U-turn. Glee, twisted my sympathy for Phil into your vendetta. You're the viper in ITV's nest, spewing from your be-kind throne. The viper line, recycled from his 2023 rant, pushes Denise over the edge. She slams the table, water glass toppling in slow-motion spill, her voice breaking. Sympathy? You used Phil's ruin to trash me, you coward, hiding behind heartbroken texts while slagging off women who dare disagree. Get off my show. The demand hangs, the studio frozen, then exploding in applause, the women rising in support, chants of out, out, echoing. Christine, pale, looks to producers, who nod grimly. Security edges from the wings, subtle but present. Piers, sensing the tide turn, pauses, his bluster faltering for a split second, but pride wins. Your show? This is ITV, not your personal therapy couch. If I'm the coward, why hide behind panel protection? Kay grabs his arm. Piers, Stopa, you're done. But he shakes free, grabbing his jacket, striding toward the exit amid a mix of boos and scattered claps from his fans. Denise, tears streaming now, sinks back, Nadia hugging her as the cameras cut abruptly to titles, the screen fading to black on the stunned panel. The kickoff is complete, not with a bang but a stunned silence, the studio emptying in a hush of whispers and shaken heads. Production scrambles, statements prepped, as the clip hits airwaves, the internet ablaze with Piers kicked off loose women trending worldwide.